Emerging technologies, liquid biopsies, and harvesting clean water from air. The top 10 emerging technologies are liquid biopsies, harvesting clean water from air, deep learning for visual tasks, liquid fuels from sunshine, the human cell atlas, precision farming, affordable catalysts for green vehicles, genomic vaccines, sustainable design of communities, and quantum computing. Liquid biopsies. What is it exactly? Liquid biopsies mark a step forward in the fight against cancer. First, they are an alternative where traditional tissue-based biopsies are not possible. Second, they provide a full spectrum of information compared to tissue samples, which only reflect the information available in the sample. Lastly, by homing in on circulating tumor DNA, genetic material that routinely finds its way from cancer cells into the bloodstream, disease progression or resistance to treatment can be spotted much faster than otherwise relying on symptoms or imaging. So what's the problem? Tissue-based tumor profiles are, however, subject to sampling bias, provided only a snapshot of tumor heterogeneity and cannot be obtained repeatedly. Genomic profiles of circulating cell-free tumor DNA have been shown to closely match those of the corresponding tumors, with important implications for both molecular pathology and clinical oncology. Analyses of circulating nucleic acids, commonly referred to as liquid biopsies, can be used to monitor response to treatment, assess the emergence of drug resistance, and quantify minimal residual disease. The non-invasive nature of a liquid biopsy, which requires only 5 milliliters of blood, means they are much easier to tolerate and the procedure is quicker than a surgical biopsy. The blood sample is then spun down to get 2 milliliters of plasma, which can be analyzed for tumor DNA. Tolerability and convenience are a major boost for patients. The biggest benefit lies in the potential of liquid biopsies to detect disease progression or treatment resistance long before it would trigger clinical symptoms or appear on imaging scans. The ability to extract clean water from air is not new. However, existing techniques require high moisture levels and a lot of electricity. This is changing. A team from MIT and University of California, Berkeley has successfully tested a process using porous crystals that convert the water using no energy at all. Another approach by a startup called Zero Mass Water from Arizona is able to produce 2 to 5 liters of water a day based on off-grid solar systems. So what's the problem? There is always more work to be done to improve the performance of such things like this. The method may not work at a relative humidity lower than about 50%. So how will they fix the problem? The new system, by contrast, is completely passive. All you need is sunlight, with no need for an outside energy supply and no moving parts. But with more research, they came to the conclusion that, in fact, the system doesn't even require sunlight. All it needs is some source of heat, which could even be a wood fire. So how is it done and what is the benefit? The key to the new system lies in the porous material itself, which is part of a family of compounds known as metal organic frameworks. Invented by Yagi 2 decades ago, these compounds form a kind of sponge-like configuration with large internal surface areas. By tuning the exact chemical composition of the MOF, these surfaces can be made hydrophilic or water-attracting. The team found that when this material is placed between a top surface that it is painted black to absorb solar heat, and a lower surface that is kept at the same temperature as the outside air, water is released from the pores as vapor and is naturally driven by the temperature and concentration difference to drip down as liquid and collect on the cooler lower surface. So in conclusion, as with anything, there is certainly always something more to be done to improve the function of these two things. More tests will need to be done, and more ideas will need to be made to help advance these technologies to be better than ever. It doesn't have to end there, though. As we get older and the younger generations get smarter, better advances will be made and technology will be incredible.